So this is part 5, probably the last part of the Imagimorphial, the Kerby Rosnes colouring book, and I'm just kind of wanting to bring a little bit more life to some of these features so that the bunnies kind of will jump up and be kind of on top of everything instead of kind of flat. So this is a live stream for ustream.tv and also recorded for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Just trying to pick out just some sections of this fallen down tree that the bunnies seem to be leaping over. I'm going to try and put a little bit of shadow in there to make it a little bit more realistic. I mean, it's a colouring book, but I want to do a little bit more realistic. I just want to kind of and then of course in there can be some kind of quite dark. It's a good idea to make sure you cover most of your page, even if it's just a certain thing you're doing. The French ultramarine, although it's a warm purple, it gives a brown fawn colour, a kind of a cool shadow, so that makes that quite nice. And because it's already made the brown originally, it's not far from its original state, and that sometimes is quite nice when you're colour mixing, to keep things in its same family, because there is then a continuity. Oh, the colours are the same. I'm sorry, I can't speak today. And although this is never going to look completely realistic, it's giving it a little bit more definition. And so this is a live stream with live people, although I don't think I told anybody I was popping on. I don't know where the message comes. I'll try to take it off because I'm still quite new to this, and I still appreciate people listening to me waffle on while I'm colouring in. But I'm still so enjoying this very easy way of working. And I've been trying doing other things recently, and it's kind of upset the arthritic hands a little bit. So this, I'm probably going to go back to this eventually because it's just so easy, and it's pain-free. So, and it's cheap and cheerful as a tight Yorkshire lass. That's my thing. So it's kind of right up my street, this. If we take that stem, we can even give probably this a bit of a shadow. Maybe I could have done a bit bigger brush. I'm trying just to give that some little bit more definition. Still working with quite a... I'm going to a bigger brush actually, because this is working slightly wetter than when I use my little brush, my little book of watercolours. So sometimes I have to get into different modes. So I'm going back in with a number 1 damp rigger, because that's just going to catch a little bit more colour on the end, and I can just manipulate it a bit easier. Because if we put a bit of a shadow down there, that leaf is then going to pop out in front of it, and that's what we want. We want this leaf to kind of be in front. tree stump to be kind of really down like that. If I put that highlight on, that low light on there. So I hope everyone can hear me. I'm probably starting with a cold. My daughter's got freshers flu, as they call it, I've been told. And so if we just put that over there, that could be the shadow of the bunny leaping over. I mean, you don't have to do this much detail into this. I'm quite enjoying myself. And it's sometimes quite nice just to take it as far as it will go. And that's probably what I'm trying to do with it. So I hope everybody can see that. Difficult to mix with it's difficult to mix, goodness me. It's difficult to mix with a rigger, that's what I was going to say, sorry. The brain's just not connected to the rest. I think that would be quite nice, kind of shaded down a little bit. Just tease the colour in, I can just... And because I'm still working quite dry, it's working quite well. Made that quite dark. Right, 2 seconds. A quick slurp. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. So this is a live stream. A live stream for Ustream, and I'm just playing about with some colours. They look quite murky in there. I'm going to play about making some more. This colour, I think, here. They're very vibrant, and I'm conscious of the fact the tone there. I was watching, I was using this old way of making the greens. And making browns from greens. And it is a fine line between a purple and then a green. Gives you some quite nice, there's some warm browns you can get, and then if you add a touch of French ultramarine, you can take that to a kind of a purpley brown, but not too purple. A purpley brown, oh sorry, a purpley brown, and that's quite nice for some dark shadows, I think. And again, I think just maybe want to have a shadow under there. So I'm trying to make it, this rabbit is actually jumping over this log, and the log is kind of really in the undergrowth, which it is, but because it's quite pale, it's kind of popped up a bit, and I want to kind of get it down and really make it into a darker area down there, I think, because I've put some detail in there, so just keep that there. And again, just teasing the colour in, gently stroking with the rigger, so I don't have a lot of pressure. And again, just picking out certain things. And as the rabbit's actually over the top of that one, that's going to have to be dark as well. When I first did it, I just wanted to put some colour in it. So. Oh, hi BM Lou. Welcome back. Anybody else? I might just put a thing to say that I'm doing this because I'm not sure if it went out or not. Just having a bit of a play with this to really want these bunnies now to be kind of jumping over the logs rather than being with them. So, oops, drop the paintbrush. That's a good start. That's a good start. So I'll just pop in here. So hopefully that's done that. Pick the paintbrush up. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. I just wanted to finish this. My paintbrush has completely disappeared. How ridiculous is that? The paintbrush has run away. I don't know how far you think a paintbrush could possibly get. It's gone under the desk. Gosh, 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 gosh. Found it. Oh my goodness. Got it. Got it. I only have a small space behind my desk. Right, so that's got that. So what I wanted to do was to finish off this this area and say make the bunnies pop out because they're looking rather they're looking like they're stuck behind there. So I'm playing about with the colour, and I've got some muted colours on here, and they are muted because this is watercolour. I mean, they are really muted, and I might just have to move that slightly because every time, because I'm very close to the camera, sorry guys, every time I touch the palette, I'm just going to make that one a little bit darker, I think, again because I want that bunny to kind of really pop out of there, and that bunny is not going to pop out of there until I really get rid of these. Be a bit careful because I don't want to do it too much because you could do too much damage then. With that one there, I think. Just dull that down slightly. and that might just going to dull those down just slightly. I think they're just too bright. And touch of water. Again, just taking that down a notch. And it's still kept some of the bright colour actually. And if we take this one back, I've got kind of a muted grey brown on the paint, but it is muted, so it's just knocked that back into the background, so hopefully then the bunny's going to pop up. So thanks for joining us here. Hopefully this is part 5, the final part, and we may as well do the snake since we're here. There's the little snake. So we'll get him out of the way. Not sure what we should do him. He's probably going to have to be brown, isn't he, really, I think. Or green snake. Oh no, we've got too much green going on. I'm just going to carry on actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the snake because I can do him any time. I want to just carry on knocking these pale green ones just back a little bit so that things can go back into the foreground again. That's hopefully my idea. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. They say this is a live stream. Probably maybe just pop that back a bit as well, I think. It just seems to be a little bit too, and that's the postman, I think. It's 11, yes, so you'll have to forgive me, there might be a bark alert, although I think the little monster's gone in the other room. I think the monster's in the other room. So by just stroking over the top of there with a little bit of a muted colour, it's just kind of taking those mushrooms into the background. It's a bit muted, isn't it? Into the background, and that might just, that can be darkened as well. So we've kept the mushroom and the bunny, and we've kind of kept that in the background, but everything else is gone. So while I'm here, can't decide what colour to do the snake. I seem to have a bit of a deep green now, so he's going to probably get this colour. Any kind of snake. Oh, it's not a snake, it's a snail. There we go, that's we know now. It's a shell, is that? Isn't it? It's kind of like a large one, but there we go. So he's there. Again, just knock this back a smidgen. But I was mainly trying to just sort out this chat. I think I've sorted it now, so welcome to Bunny's Designs. I'm just kind of I'm working with a limited palette, but I'm doing it because I want to keep a bit of continuity with all the colours, and I think by doing this you do, so I don't have any bright oranges or anything there, so I'm going to morph this into some dark, and although I'm going over it, it doesn't matter too much because the bright colour was there to start with. Sorry guys, just not because it was there to start with, you do realise it was bright at some point. It's just now it's in the background, and that'll make leaves pop out. just kind of gone behind there, and it's just made that leaf pop up that little bit. And there's a little nondescript white bun there, so I'm not sure whether I should leave him in there or kind of bring him out. I'm still making, I like the deeper blue, French ultramarine. I'm really enjoying adding that to colours to give them a dullness and a darkness, instead of using black, because ultramarine is quite warm. And by gently going over things, it's just making other things pop out. And I'm using a number 1 because I'm using it more, a little bit like when I do the oil paintings. You get down to certain things, and then put highlights in, then you put lowlights in, and you go back in with highlights until you're happy with it. You've got to be a bit more careful here because you can't do that, but you do need to be dulled down just a little bit in order to keep the nice bright things in the foreground. And that's just kind of brought that leaf up a little bit, made the area a bit darker. So I wanted to get this finished, and I wanted to play a little bit with this colour because I've quite enjoyed this. And again, just by doing that, I've got to be a bit careful you don't overdo it, because otherwise I'm just going to do it dark green. But I think that might be just nice. And then with a very careful amount, just go over that and just make that just disappear a bit, in order for that bunny's foot to be kind of in the foreground. So let's build that down a bit as well. And that's just made the bulrushes up a bit. Now while I'm here, I need to kind of make some more colour. It's a very wishy-washy, well, not wishy-washy, it is a very wishy-washy way of working this, I have to say. And just, there's no bright colours at the moment. This is all kind of a little bit dull. But of course I've done all that on there to start with. The first bright colour I put down, because that's how you have to work with watercolour. Put your bright colours down first. Just knock that back a little bit as well. That's going to make that bulrush pop up a bit. I'm going to take that one down as well. And that makes the legs of the other bunny pop up. I'm probably just going to dull that down a little bit. This is when you can start to really play with shadows and darks and things. So I hope you can all see that. So I'm just having a bit of a place. I now need that bunny leg to come up now. So I'm going to dull through down there. And that's kind of just giving these a little bit of it is the underneath now, after all. So. And they've kind of gone back. So of course now this bunny now here, he's kind of now on top of everything. He's now going to be the bunny in the foreground. Not when you're concentrating, you're very quiet. Very quiet. So welcome to Bunny's Design. This is a live stream for Ustream and recorded for YouTube so that people can watch at their leisure. A quick slurp. And I'm trying to make these kind of put in a little bit more detail in now. I'm going to put that there so I don't keep knocking the camera. So in here, this is lovely, but it's a little bit kind of bright. So I've got this green with French ultramarine to darken it down and make it a little bit darker. So we can make these leaves pop out a little bit. I think that's probably a shadow, isn't it? And I know I've worked hard with those colours, but they're still under there, they're just not as bright. Especially that one. And not sure what's happening with this. Just going there. And a little bit of oopsie, sorry. May have to rethink this little laptop because it's not doing what I want it to do. So I think we'll just give that a little bit of a, and under there should be quite dark as well. There is a bit of a kind of, I like that, but then I think it's taking that away. So perhaps I should maybe drop our water in there, just to dull that down a little. It's slightly better. I can leave that one, I suppose. And again, just give that possibly a little bit of a shadow. And this is when you can start to think what would be happening where. So that's kind of got that, and there's a little bunny foot under there that I've obviously missed, so I'll just see if we can get brown paw back again under there. Then you see all sorts of things that you've missed the first time. So. It's a little bit dark under there. So. And that's going to be very dark, but then his tail is going to be okay. I'm going to get rid of that because I don't like it. Put a shade on there. There might be a bark alert because he's just seen somebody go past. So I've kind of finish that little corner there. Probably could put a little bit of shadow under there, and that might be nice to bring that area's kind of sorted itself out a bit. Possibly just going to cover him with the bunny, I think, to say that he's been coloured in. That's it. Got a little bit of definition on the log, and then of course that bunny there is kind of popping out, and because I've darkened that area, his paws are now definitely on top. I would think he's almost finished. Look up here, and I could probably put something here because again that's a little bit bright. Yes, I'll lift that up gently. That wants to be taken down just a touch. So I've got some really kind of pale wash, and I just want to take that down so now that paw's popped forward, and take this down a shade or two, and then that's kind of done the same thing. Just move that when you pop up. Just little things just to finish off, so that we can say that's finished. Again, that's that little bit light, so I'm just going to take that across. And behind here, I am losing all those pale greens, but they were quite bright, so I'm just going to dull that down a little bit up here. And that's just writing that down. I'm just going to just there. That's behind there, definitely. That's made the ear again pop up. And I think I might just pop that a shade darker as well, so that and if you go over twice with the same shade, you get the darker shade, which is a natural progression. So I'm going to take that up there because that's a bit pale. I knew it was pale, but I wanted to pop it in earlier, so it's there, it's been, and now it's going to have its kind of, again that ear is going to pop then. And if I remember to do it in shades going upwards, might get a little bit of texture. So thanks for joining me. This has been a bit of an epic journey, that little bunny now has kind of popped up a bit. I need to do the same with this one. It's a bit like a recipe when you look at a recipe with lots and lots of ingredients and you think, oh, that's complicated. And it isn't complicated. It's like Delia says, you've just got to do things in a methodical order, in other words, because then you can kind of be a bit more in control and not panic. I think most of this is not panic. I take that down there a little bit. And I like that one, but I think I'm going to have to take that one down a slightly. This one will have to come down, because again this bunny has got to be kind of way in front of that, so just by taking that down and then putting a little bit of shadow in there. And again this one with the bunny pop as well. That just wants a little bit, so that bunny's really going to pop. I'm just going to do the same with that green, get rid of that as well. So you can definitely tell that that is behind the bunny, and that bunny will now pop out. And just by doing that, that little bunny there, it's kind of stepped out in front of that toadstool. So I hope you can see that. I hope it's, and again I'm just going to go in and just, this is a very light wash. It's a very light wash, but it's still quite dry. I'm just going to knock that back as well, because of course that's going to be in the background. It doesn't want to be quite as light as that. So that area looks quite nice, and that bunny's, this is in the foreground. Might just give that another little bit of a, I'm going to give it another bit of a texture as well. I think, just to give that rabbit. And of course I've got to remember to just pop into there and do that. And because the lines are in there, we know that that's going to be shadowed as well. So we'll give it a bit of texture as well. So that's kind of made that area that little bit better. Maybe I could take that one down a smidgen as well, just a smidgen. And because it's almost dried straight away, I can go back in it. And that's another way I like about this. And if this was watercolour, I couldn't go back into this straight away. I'd have to dry it off, or wait for it to dry. So I'm going to make another green now. Make a strong green. I'm not making a strong green at all. It's a strange thing is this, it's the yellow in the green that makes the good colour, which sounds ridiculous, but it does. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. So this is a live stream for ustream.tv and also recorded for YouTube, and I'm basically kind of just going behind the bunnies, and if there's anything that's kind of too bright, taking back a little bit to make the bunnies back into the foreground again. And get some quite nice effects. Need to add some French ultramarine because it's getting a little bit too much. So hopefully this is the final part of this kind of fairly epic-y. I'm trying to make sure I'm in frame. So this is quite dark, this, but I'm going to take that out because I do want a nice dark area because I really need this rabbit to be kind of jumping out of here. And behind there as well. He's almost jumping out, he's just not too much. He's almost there with that little one. And then just going to take this back here. The trick sometimes is thinking when to stop. But, definitely doing watercolour is difficult. You always think you can just add that bit more. I think there's a button you can do to be permanently on, but I'll have to find that one then. So hopefully I've ironed out some of the creases, some of the problems I had the other day, and to take that one down there. That's going to be a bit dark, but I really want these bunnies to be kind of really in the foreground. And I'm finding one or two things that I kind of missed, and so taking that green down is kind of giving it a bit more continuity than it had before. That's quite dark down there, and put that into there. I hope you all found this interesting. I've really enjoyed playing with these colours, these watercolours. They're quite nice to work with, and they're easy to work with as well. Quite. You say sometimes professional watercolours people can't jump out the skin. I haven't played with them, and I'm not a watercolourist. I've done one or two, but watercolour is one of the, when you use it in its traditional way, is one of the most difficult things, I think. Acrylic and oil are easy because you can just go over. If you make a mistake, you go over it. Once you've done that in watercolour, it's there. And it's finished and it's done. So it's not the easiest thing to work with. This way is fairly easy because I've done some pale colours and then I'm going over with darker. So if I made a mistake in pale, it didn't really matter. And that's why I did it, because, as I said, I'm not terribly good with it. But that made it quite easy to work with, or you're not afraid to use it. Now I've got that red on there, so I can get rid of that and leave the shadow if I want to. So I've just made a little shadow area there, and that bunny's now popped up, but he's been cut in half by that one. So And I have to leave that pale green for that one. So I hope everybody's okay with this, and so it's been quite fun. So I'll just darken this down here. And I say, you have to forgive the voice, I'm starting with a bit of a croaky voice today. If I move up a little bit, and just want this bunny to pop, and of course I've just found the dream catcher, which I'd forgotten about. So we have the dream catcher to kind of use. That's just giving that little bit of a shadow area, because it's quite a large toadstool, is that? And then here we can play a bit with dark as well. These paints are really nice to play with. I have to say, I've really enjoyed messing about with. I've left that natural highlight in there. And if I want to go, I can go play into that as well. So if you have any questions, pop them in caps. I hope everybody's okay in this rather grim day, I think, out there. It's a rather grim day in the UK. And just leave just a few highlights, and then I'm teasing under there. Just teasing out a little bit of colour. And the same with this one. It's a huge mushroom. It is a huge toadstool, is that one. And a pot of water over there. Oops, sorry. I just want to just knock that back in there. So it's just that bit too bright. It's just that little bit too bright for me. But that's why I left it quite bright, so that I could do that with it. And then again, just under this one. And this paintbrush is almost dry, it's just teasing out. It's almost like dirty water. That's the consistency of how much paint I've got in there. Just dirty water. But that's given that a little bit more definition. And that's what I wanted. I just wanted to go in there and kind of just tie it all together. Just give it a little bit more continuity. And here again we've got a bit of the frond which I've forgotten, so we'll darken that up a little bit. Just put them. And of course, because this has got scales on it and marks, you know where your highlights are. You don't have to think about it, but which again is quite nice. I'm actually going to make that dark because, oops, and I've gone over, so I might have to do something else. Let's put that into there. If I just took the dirty water and a dirty brush, I could just go over that very quickly because of course I don't want to constitute the red. And I can just knock those, oops, a bit too much there. Just knock those mushroom white dots back just a titch because they are just that bit bright. So just go over all the little dots, and then it doesn't look like you've missed the mushroom. Don't know what I'm going to do with the dream catcher. I can do the same with that one as well. Just nondescript, looks like dirty water, but it's just going to knock a stark white off. Now I could have left some if I'd have wanted, but they've gone now, so it's quite nice. And so I've just reconstituted some dirty greys on there. And probably could do the same with this big one actually as well, because again it looks like you've missed it. Yeah, it looks like, oh, missed colouring those in. So this is a little bit greyer, but obviously that again just finished it off a little bit. Oh, I think it has anyway. So I do hope you can hear them. I'm always conscious, because I'm a couple of inches away from the microphone, that perhaps I should whisper, but then people said that you couldn't hear. So I'm just going to do the dream catcher, and of course because I have some bright colours, and I'd meant to mix a green actually before I started playing, but I'd forgotten, so I've got a blue. So I quite like that. There might be a puppy there because there's some people talking outside, and because they're outside, he doesn't like anybody in our street. And I'm going to do it all blue, I think. I'm going to do it all blue. But I do have a bit of alizarin crimson there. Maybe a touch of ultramarine. So thanks for oops, I've just gone the wrong colour. Thank you for stopping in and watching me finish off this. It might be a little bit too wet, but if I'm looking, it should be okay. And that's the dream catcher done. So I think that's nearly finished actually. I'm pretty sure. Really haven't thought about the background. I've got the butterflies to do, haven't I? Oh, actually it's a dragonfly, that one. So the dragonfly really needs a teal colour. So we need cadmium yellow. I'm going to mix it. I'm going to mix in here a purple, and I'm going to mix. I'm going to mix a purple, and I'm going to mix a green, and I'm going to mix a yellow, an orange. Sorry. That's why I put the blue in there first. going to have to go this colour. There's our dragonfly done. And put his body in there as well. That's it. Dragonfly. But that's definitely a butterfly, so I think the butterfly can be come on to Barbie butterflies, we'll have a bloom. I should have changed the little tiny one, but then that's our butterfly. And because we've got these browns, nondescript kind of deep colours, give him a bit of a body. I thought there was another butterfly somewhere, but so all these have got to be taken back. Have I frozen? Something happened. Whoops! Oh, I've dropped the paintbrush again. Oopsie. And the paintbrush has disappeared yet again. It's gone in exactly the same place. Golly gumdrops. It's nearly time to give up when you can't pick a paintbrush up. There we go. Right, sorry about that. So is everybody okay? I haven't frozen chat or anything because I'll just crease the page now. Just last thing I'm going to do is I've got this kind of really ick colour there, but in actual fact that's what I've been using to go over the top, and I'm just going to just dull down these bright white pieces that I've obviously missed, I've left off, and instead of it looking like she's left them, I'm just going to give them that. It's basically dirty water, but I did test it on a page first. Too much now. I did test it on the watercolour page first, but it's just kind of knocked them down slightly, a little bit like you do when you give the eye pupil the white highlight. You then, it has a double highlight, and the double one is always not that. That's basically what I'm doing. And again, because it's all the colours watered down that I've been using, there's a continuity in it as well. So that's, I found another butterfly. I found a butterfly. I've done this one. I think I've done them all, but I found a butterfly. So again, I'm just going to touch blue, because we can have the same species of butterfly. I think I've caught the camera, so it's wobbling, so I'm taking that back. And then I do need a small brush. And I think that's it then. I think we can say it's finished, thank goodness. I've enjoyed doing it, but when you're doing something live, I'm conscious of that it can get rather boring watching somebody doing the same thing. And I've missed the morphed green, so I've got some green here, so that's quite nice. I can just put that in there. Just got the background to do, but not quite sure what I'm going to do with the background. But I shall lift this camera gently now and get rid of my palette. So that's what I've been playing with. And if I very carefully lift that up, so don't make anybody sick, and just kind of do that, maybe not quite as much. Can everybody see that? Does that look okay? There's some quite bits of detail in there, so it's quite nice to use. I'll bring in my little pot of colour. You see that, hopefully. Hopefully that's the end result. So we've kind of made that bunny be able to jump over that instead of it being under it. And again, missed some of these dots. I'm going to just go through those with the grey, but basically I think that's done. And I've quite enjoyed it. As I really enjoy working with watercolours. So I'll stop the video. So thanks for watching, and that's the end of that particular page. And